Hi friends.
Hi everyone. We're back.
We are back and today we're coming to you Malta themed, talking all about Malta, the time that we spent there, what's worth seeing in Malta, what's not worth seeing in Malta, what's good to eat, not to eat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stay to the end because Kevin has got
a couple of jokes. Well, I might even blend them in.
Oh,
make them very Maltese themed.
Yeah, so stay tuned. And today we're accompanied by Coco. She's shaking because she doesn't come in here often. Hello, Coco. And Daisy, you know Daisy. And Louie will make an appearance because he owns the joint, right? All right, where shall we start, sweetheart?
Well, you've got a list of things you want to cover.
Yes.
But do you want to tell them about what's on the table here?
Yes. Okay, so these are Maltese pastizzi. They are delicious morsels of puff pastry and ricotta, but you can also have them with peas, which are the traditional Maltese pastizzi.
It's called pizzelli, which is the peas.
The pea ones.
With a little bit of curry in them as well. Yeah.
And then they also now make them with feta cheese, with ricotta and spinach, and I've even seen apple ones and Nutella ones. Now that's going a little bit too far for me. That's just not traditional. So we just stick to ricotta, feta, ricotta and spinach, and the peas, which are his favourite. And then these are called imaret, which are fried parcels of dates.
Yeah.
They are absolutely delicious. Very high in calories, because everything is high in calories in Maltese food, but super delicious. And then we are drinking a traditional Maltese drink called kini. Now, these are made in Australia, so they taste a little bit different from the ones that you have in Malta, but they're comparable to the Italian canotto.
It's similar. It's got that slightly bitter sort of taste to it. I'm just trying to see. I can't even read the label. I think they're made in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But, obviously made to the same licensing as per the kini. Where we stayed in Malta at our hotel, they even had kini on tap.
In bottles?
No, it was
they had it as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember the tap one.
Oh, okay.
Where was it?
So where they had the sparkling water, they also had a tap of kini, but it was not the no sugar one.
Okay.
It was the normal one.
We're being healthy, so we've been drinking.
With all that, you need to kind of balance it out, don't you?
Yes, you do. Yeah. Okay, hello, Louis here too. Okay, enough now. Off you go, down. Down. Come here. Good boy. Okay, so now that we've covered the food, we'll come back to it because there's a lot of stories to talk about Maltese food. But let's start with family because that was what brought us back to Malta this time.
So my heritage is Maltese. Both my parents were Maltese. My mum passed away more than 20 years ago now, in 2002. And my uncle, who lives in Malta, used to live in Melbourne, in Glenroy. I've seen him a couple of times. Last time I saw him was in 2006, I think, when we went.
He's not come back to Australia, has he, after my son left?
And so it's been many years, 19, almost 20 years since we've seen him. I was always very, very close with my uncle and my aunt. And I've got two cousins. One of them is actually called Kevin. He's about 5 years younger than me. So growing up, the easiest way they could identify two Kevins in the house was he was little Kevin and I was big Kevin. And that's how we were always referred to in the family. It was very sad when they went back to Malta. I always hoped they would come back to Australia. They were probably my favourite of my cousins. I was not sure. I knew we would catch up with them when we arrived in Malta. But as we were leaving, just having collected our bags in Malta.
On arrival
in Malta. Going through customs where you have to declare or not declare. And I was looking for the Uber on my phone so we could organise a ride to our hotel. And as soon as the doors opened, I saw two eager-looking faces, both my aunt and uncle, sort of steering through, trying to see if they could see us. And I think at that point I almost had tears in my eyes, ran straight up to them and gave them the biggest hugs ever. And I think that was probably, for me, the start of a wonderful holiday to be back in Malta and be around family again, which was really good. And look, honestly, they treat Deborah like they've known her for their entire lives. And that's just wonderful.
They're very generous, very generous spirited people.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely. So let's start with a little bit of history about Malta. Malta is a very old country. It's
very beautiful too.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If you ever have the opportunity and you go to Europe, do pop down to Malta because it's absolutely stunning. It's very old. It's been at one time or another taken over by different countries, but more recently it became a British colony.
Yes.
And so now
In the war.
during the war, Second World War, and now it's the English is its first language.
Yeah, English and they've got their own language.
And Maltese.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone speaks English. So if you don't speak Maltese, it's very easy to get around in Malta. It's just beautiful. It's got an old world charm that's sort of similar to the south of Italy, but not quite, because it's almost got like a bit of a Moroccan, Turkish influence to it, but also British. So it's just indescribable. And the beaches are beautiful. The weather is summer. Oh my goodness, if you don't like heat, do not go in the summertime, because somehow the heat is so intense, because I feel like it gets absorbed.
There's a lot of stone. So a lot of the buildings are all built out of limestone, which is a natural stone that they quarry in Malta. And I think it retains the heat in the streets and everything else. Is very, very hot.
Yeah.
Although those type of buildings, though, are also, because the walls are quite thick, are very well insulated on the inside.
On the inside.
Yeah.
But on the outside, when you're walking on all the cobblestones, it's just very hot, especially when it's like 30-degree days, which is the 5 days that we were there, with 30-degree days. And then the temperature drops to about low 20s, which is milder, but after having suffered through 30 degrees the whole day, it's really tiring. At night. But anyway, we've given you a little bit to know about the history. We're not historian, so, take with a pinch of salt, but that's about roughly what we know about the history.
Yeah.
The location, it's just within, what distance of Sicily would you call it? It's like you can catch a ferry from Malta to Sicily.
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet. In fact, we've never been to Sicily, maybe another trip. But anyway, Malta. So beautiful island. It's about 27 kilometres in diameter, I once heard. And before we went last time to Malta, I had never been. And I always kept saying to Kevin, we should be able to do it in a day. I mean, it's 27 kilometres, right? It's like going Melbourne to, to Whittlesea. It's just, you can do it in a day. That may be true, but everywhere you look, there's a piece of history, there's beautiful buildings. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So that is roughly Malta, the weather. Now, where did we go? One thing that we hadn't gone to last time, but that we went to this time was Mosta.
So there's a church in Mosta, which I remember my mum telling me the story about this church. And during the war, there was about 300 people in this church, mostly seeking shelter from and praying from the war. And there was bombs going off. Malta was actually, from again what we were told.
We were told that it was the most bombed place in the world during the Second World War. It was where the Germans really targeted their bombs.
So there was a church in Mosta, which has now become very famous. They call it the Miracle Church, where a massive bomb went through the dome of the roof of the church and landed inside the church, and
it didn't detonate. It didn't detonate. People were praying there, and the bomb just did not detonate at all. And ever since then, it's been known as the Miracle Church, and it's just absolutely beautiful. As we're talking, I'll actually insert some of the footage so that you don't miss out, and you feel like you're also going on a holiday with us to a place that we went to.
Looks like it's also just gone or almost coming to the conclusion of a full restoration.
Yeah.
Inside the church was immaculate.
Yeah.
Like, really beautiful. But they still had like scissor lifts and stuff, so I think they were still finishing off
painting. I saw when we were there were a couple of people still painting by hand the inside of the dome. There's also a bomb shelter underneath where hundreds of people would have taken shelter during the bombing. At that time, did they say the number of bombs that were being dropped in Valletta and in that area during the Second World War? Was it like something like 8 to 10 an hour?
Right, yeah.
It was some ridiculous figure like that, which was really scary for such a small island. It underwent a huge amount of damage due to the war, but you really wouldn't be able to tell that now. Everything has been restored to original.
Well, who knows? There's probably buildings that don't exist anymore that would have been there. But,
true.
There's still a lot of history there.
Yeah. So Mosta is absolutely beautiful. The church is beautiful. If you ever go, definitely go there. It's an iconic place to visit in Malta.
Also, if you do go to Malta, I mean, we were very fortunate that my uncle drove us around a couple of places, but you can get anywhere using their buses. Their buses are extremely reliable, constant. If you miss a bus, there's another bus coming in like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just really easy. Where we stayed, which was in St. Julian's Bay, you could probably catch around 3 different routes to get there. So it was really, really simple to get back and forth using public transport. You can also go to Mosta by public transport.
Yeah. There's no train system, is there, in Malta? It's all by bus. And I would recommend don't try hiring a car. The roads are very tiny.
Parking would be a nightmare.
Parking is a nightmare. And also, cars aren't respected in Malta. So I don't think I remember seeing a car that wasn't dented of some sort. So it's just not worth it. Just catch public transport. It's just so easy to use. Or Uber. Yeah, Uber is easy.
You're not travelling that fast. It's not a big expense.
Yeah.
Even to use an Uber. We used an Uber one night to go to dinner because it was too hot.
Yeah, it was only like maybe a kilometre away, but it was just too hot to walk. Okay, so the next time that we went to so the history of Malta is that it used to have 2 capitals. The former capital of Malta was Medina, which is now known as the Silent City, and then the current capital is Valletta. Both gorgeous, well worth a visit, both of them. Medina is like Medina is like stepping back in time. The funny thing is there's still people living in those houses, but it's all silent, it's all quiet, there's lots of churches. There's like is it a fortress?
It is, yeah. And actually, it's Delta Goodrem. You've probably maybe seen it on socials, etc. She just got married.
It was in June she got married in Medina.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
I think it was at St. Paul's Cathedral in Medina.
Yeah. If you ever go there, do make sure to cover your shoulders because they do take it quite seriously and they do tell you off if you, perchance, let the cover slip off you. The ones that they give you a paper one just for, proprietedness. So Medina is beautiful. It's a bit of, what would you say, it was about half-hour drive from St. Julian, where we were?
Probably.
Yeah, nothing is too far.
I think because of traffic.
Yeah, the traffic is really bad. Yeah. Nothing is too far in Malta, but the traffic slows you down. And then Valletta, again, it's just, the whole of Malta is like stepping back in time when you go into the original cities. And Valletta, last time that we were there, 19 years ago, outside the walls, there were lots of little vans.
Almost like food truck trailers.
Yeah. That would sell pastizzi of all different types.
The amaret.
Hot because they come out of the fryer.
Yeah.
Really hot. Everything was just steaming and hot. You could go to any one of these vans and just indulge in any of these delicacies. Now, it's no longer like that, is it?
No, it's become, in some cases, quite westernised, and there's an influence of migration in the Malta country now from all sorts of different places, India, Africa, etc. So that, in a way, is also blending different cultures together, but also diluting.
So where before every shop was a Maltese shop, now there's a souvlaki shop, there's a sushi shop, there was lots of like Asian shops, Indian shops, food-wise, and that we really struggle to find traditional Maltese restaurants. In fact, the only time we found one in Slima, which is like 500 meters from where we were staying in St. John's Bay. And that had really nice food, but it wasn't quite.
Authentic enough. The taste wasn't that authentic.
Yeah.
It was like probably a close copy of what I remember Maltese food tasting like growing up. And, you know, I think every mother adds their own little touch and spin.
I feel like making bolognese sauce as an Italian. Everyone tweaks it and adds their own secret ingredient.
Yeah. But even the staff that were working there were not Maltese. So I think, I don't know who was in the kitchen, whether they had Maltese chefs or cooks in the kitchen, but none of the staff serving were Maltese.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't spend enough time there that we could explore a lot more other options. I think if we were there long enough, we could have probably tried different other places. Rabbit is actually one of their traditional dishes. So they make like a rabbit stew, which again, I remember my mum occasionally making for us.
And you can make it, you can have it with spaghetti. Oh, it's delicious.
And our uncle did take us to a place in a town called Rabat. I don't know if Rabbit and Rabat's got anything to do with each other, but it's the town apparently you go to for Rabbit. And he took us to a traditional restaurant there, which was really nice. Just so much food we couldn't even eat.
No, we couldn't finish it. And the funny thing, it's what I remember when we were in Malta last. It was just a tiny little restaurant, nothing fancy, basic as basic can be, but the food was just, melt in your mouth, delicious.
Yeah.
If I could have eaten more, I would have, but we walked out already feeling like we were going to explode, and there was still heaps of food left over on the table, unfortunately. It was just really sad that we didn't manage to get to the desserts because we were just so full from the main and the entree.
Yeah. Well, the serves were big.
The servings were big, yeah. So that was lovely. With Valletta, talking about food, I remembered on the day that we went to Valletta, we'd walked from Valletta is quite steep, so there's lots of steps to get up and down all the different little roads and little laneways. And we'd gone all the way down to the water, and then we're making our way back up, and it was just past lunchtime, probably just before 2:00. And Ken and I were hungry, and we thought, we don't really want to go to a restaurant. Everything is so expensive. How about we were walking on this lane, and we found this little traditional deli.
Like a little supermarket.
Like a mini supermarket, tiny. And it sold the cheese.
Yeah. It's Maltese cheese is called bayonet.
It's made out of goat milk.
No, it's also just cow milk as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's almost the best way I could describe it is like goat cheese and ricotta mixed together. So it's firm, like goat's cheese, but it's got almost like the texture of a dried ricotta cheese. And it's delicious. And you can have it plain
Peppered is
or peppered.
probably the nicest way. I like it. You can also have it fresh, and when it's very hard to have it fresh, you need someone who's literally just making it.
Yeah, a bit like ricotta.
It's a bit like ricotta, almost a bit like bocconcini cheese
Yeah.
when it's fresh. Yeah.
So we stopped off at this deli or this little supermarket, and we got like a mixture of, I can never remember the cheese name. Bayonet. And then we also got like a little serving of their traditional bean salad, which is made with beautiful big broad beans. I've never seen
They're like a butter bean.
Yeah, but like twice the size, 2 to 3 times the size, and firmer.
Yeah.
And then we also had a dip, which is made out of not broad beans. Broad beans. And what else did we have? I feel like we had something else. Olives. For me, and I feel like we had something else. And then we had the gallette, which are like little crackers, traditional Maltese crackers, very plain, no salt in them, because you use them to absorb the flavours of everything else that you eat with it, the cheeses, the dips, the salads. It was the best rustic picnic, because we also got some kidney as well to go with it. And we just sat on the side of the lane in a doorway. No one was using it. No one was coming in and out. And we just sat there and enjoyed this little mini picnic. And it was just delicious. It's what I remembered we did last time we travelled to Europe.
That was really cheap.
And it was super cheap. Yes, you wouldn't have been able to get that at a restaurant.
And the dip, if you want to know, it's called Bigilla, is the name of the dip. I have recently tried making it, although it came out quite dry. The dip there that we had, we actually bought it in 2 different places, was a lot more easier to spread. And so I'm going to have to try and make it again.
Yeah.
Did follow the recipe. Maybe I need to look for a different recipe or did something slightly different in technique. I'm not sure, but I look forward to trying to make it again. So maybe next time I do it, maybe we'll
vlog it and we'll put it on here. So Valletta was beautiful and the food in Valletta was beautiful. And then another day we went to a town called...
Before we get off Valletta,
yeah.
another highlight for me is that's where my mum used to work. There's a jewellery business in Malta that's very famous called Sterling Jewellers. They used to have just one location. I've noticed while we were in Malta they've got many now. I don't know if it's the same owners that owned it when my mum worked. It was over 50 years ago. But we went to the shop that's still there where mum worked, and I went inside, had a look around and took photo standing outside. Kind of felt nice to think that I was in a place that my mum used to go to every day for work. She would have walked those same footpaths all those many years ago, and the place that she works is still there after all those years. So I think we also took a photo, which Deb might add.
Yeah, it was just, I think it was just nice for you to connect. It's a bit like when I'm in Venice and I just feel closer to my dad.
Yeah.
That would be the same.
We also visited the place, the house, or went outside the front of it where mum grew up and where mum lived. I remember going there when I was 5 years old to visit my grandfather and grandmother, and they were quite ill at the time. That's why we went on that trip. It was the last time I got to see them. But I remember going there and kind of vaguely remembered when I got taken there by my uncle, the location, although Malta's really changed in some ways. A lot more buildings.
More high-rises. Not high-rises in like maybe 10 stories. It used to be 19 years ago when we were there, the rule was you couldn't go more than 3 or 4 stories high. Since then, that's changed. And now whenever an old building gets demolished, they put like a 7 to 10
particularly facing the water.
Yeah, obviously.
Beautiful water
real
views
estate
all around. Yeah, and Malta's an island, so it's got water views kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was nice. I went to the property where my dad grew up as well. They were all within walking distance of where we were. So,
that was Slima. Was that Slima?
Yeah.
Now, in St. Julian's Bay where we stayed, we had beautiful views of the water. And it's just a very central location. So if you're thinking of going to Malta, I highly recommend staying in St. Julian's Bay just because it's central. It's on the water, it's central. So at night you can go for a walk along the water. The beach isn't that good facing, but there are nicer beaches. We just didn't go there. Slima probably has more beaches, or is that more the marina?
That's more when you would catch the ferries.
Okay.
You can even catch a ferry from Slima to Valletta. You can go that way rather than using a bus.
Yeah.
It's another option.
Yeah.
Or you can catch the ferry to different islands, and the main island outside of Malta is Gozo, but there's Camino and other places you can go to. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to do all of that on this trip.
Yeah. We went to visit the Blue Grotto.
Yep.
So we caught a bus, like a tour bus, but really you can actually catch public transport to take you there. The only difference is that when you go with a tour bus, they'll get you to where you got to go and buy the boat ticket at a time that's not going to be too busy, so you can actually get it, you can see it quickly. Whereas if you catch public transport, I think it's not that easy. You've got to walk a bit of a way to find it. But that is beautiful. The Blue Grotto is just...
crystal clear water.
Yeah, you can't swim there.
No.
At least we couldn't, unless you can go different times, but we couldn't when we went.
I think if you want to swim, you go to a place very similar called Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. We didn't go there this time. Absolutely gorgeous. Highly, highly recommend it. Another place that we went to was Marsaxlokk, which is a fishing village. And on a Saturday, they have a fish market. And they sell fresh seafood right there along the side of the water. Obviously, it's a walkway, but they have a fish market. But then they also have deli. You can buy some pastizzi. You can buy the imaret, Is that American cheese or is that right? Yep. You can buy salads. So a lot of the locals go there, and if they don't want to go to hassle of making all the salads, they can actually go and buy them. Again, we decided to stay there and grab just a bit of this, a little bit of that, and have a bit of a picnic facing the water. And there, though, we bought this prawn salad, which is delicious. And again, the dip, which is slightly different, but same taste as the original one. We got the cheese and lots of different types of Maltese foods. It was just lovely.
Which was nice. They just gave us a couple of forks and they gave us some Maltese bread, which is like really crusty bread. We sat just behind the shop facing the water with all the boats and just sat there and enjoyed the view.
I mean, there's restaurants, but you know, it was just, we like just going the traditional way and just having just rustic food when we're there. We don't go to Malta for fine dining. We go there just to go back to the roots and enjoy food the way it used to be cooked. And when we went back to Malta, one thing that I absolutely wanted to buy, and I think I might have told it when I was unpacking, in my unpacking video, which I'll link below in case you've missed it, but I was looking for the Maltese Evil Eye, which last time we were there, 19 years ago, in case you've missed it, I keep saying it, everything was so different. Anyway, we could find those Maltese eyes at every little nook and cranny and souvenir shop, everywhere. Everywhere we went, we could find it. I've been meaning to buy some more this time for my children and just stock up. And I could not find them anywhere. We went into every souvenir shop, I think, near us, in Slima, in Valletta, everywhere we'd go to a souvenir shop and look for it. Could not find it. We were in Medina and there was a souvenir shop. And we went inside thinking, oh, maybe we can find it here. And I looked around and I thought, oh, even here they don't have it. Kevin?
Well, actually, it looked like a shop that would have it because they sold a lot of ceramics. They're made out of ceramic plaster sort of thing. And my aunt had been going around looking, trying to find...
Once they knew that that's what I was looking for, they'd go around asking for me.
And they hadn't been able to find any either, and they knew exactly what we were looking for. The type of eye sits on a traditional Maltese fishing boat, and on both sides of the bow, they have these little eyes which are meant to
ward off evil spirits
and give them
good luck in fishing, finding fish.
Anyway, I asked this lady if she knew where maybe we could buy them, since what she sold to me felt like it would have been a store that would have had them. And when I described it to her, she said, oh, actually, we just got some in the other day. We haven't had a chance to put them out yet. Is this what you're looking for? And underneath this desk, she pulls out this box, and they were exactly what you wanted. Yeah. So that was really good.
So I stocked up and we got lucky finally, because throughout this trip, because we hadn't been back to Europe for 19 years. 19 years. We had been, I don't know, maybe thinking it up, talking it up, how good the food was all over Europe. We remember desserts from Paris that we just could not find anywhere else. And unfortunately, we couldn't find them this time. We didn't spend enough time in Paris. And so we didn't find any good desserts. In Italy, we didn't have the best experience with pizza.
Pasta was good.
Pasta was good.
I don't know how do you ruin pasta, but yeah, it was good.
You can ruin pasta. But we didn't have decent pizza. And then in Malta, we were struggling to find decent food. So it was another example of something that I had been looking forward, these Maltese eyes, to finding easily. And again, could not find it easily. So in a way, finding it was like reassuring, yes.
Although last time, if you recall, the best pizza we had was in Gozo.
We didn't go to Gozo this time. But the thing is that whenever Kevin and I go somewhere and have something, we think, oh my God, this is delicious, we have to come back. We'll go back and the experience won't be the same.
Something would have changed.
So now, even 19 years later, it's like, never go back. Just experience it, enjoy it, but never try to go back to replicate it, because for some reason,
at least we've started from a low base. this time. So the next trip,
we won't expect anything.
We won't expect anything to be, and we might be pleasantly surprised. We might come back from that one being a lot more positive with finding some really great food.
Yeah.
But I think also, I mean, one of our sort of conclusions is that in the last 20 years, I think food has also really improved a lot more, certainly around Melbourne where we live. We've got access to so much food, so many different cultures that bring a blend of different foods. So I think that we were also measuring at the bar against what we have access to.
Yeah. And I think talking about food is when we spoke to Kim's cousins and we said, look, yes, Louis, can you see yourself in camera? Come on, off, please. Come here. Come here, please. Come. Come. Oh, my God. Oh, you become so floppy. Okay. When we were speaking to her about finding, traditional Maltese food, she said, the Maltese don't eat it anymore because it's really high in calories and it's not really healthy. So we like to eat different foods. So I can understand why now the Maltese want to experience other foods that 19 years ago weren't available to them. But now that there's so much more tourism and migration, they want to experience the sushi. They want to experience the souvlaki. All the things that they might have seen on TV elsewhere now is there. So that the value for the tradition, you're a bugger. The value for the traditional foods by the locals is just no longer there, which is,
well,
as
we
a
went
tourist,
to a town for a Maltese festival.
Yes.
And they had little food trucks, and we thought, we're going to be able to buy some traditional food here tonight. No, it was like potato cakes and
pizza.
kebabs and pizza.
And what was that hot dog that the cousin likes?
Baked beans on top.
Baked beans, yeah.
Not really what I would think is that maybe it's really good. We might have to try it
next time.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really loved about Malta was the fact that they still retain a lot of those traditional festas that are centered around religion. So every little suburb has its own church. There's a church everywhere. But every suburb has its own church. And they all celebrate a different saint. So, for example, the church that we were at in that town was Santa Maria, and they were celebrating the feast of Santa Maria that weekend. And my goodness, but they go really Louis. They go full out in celebrating and creating the best event. They had fireworks that went on for a good half hour. And then they had fireworks on these wheels that spin. I'll insert some footage here because it's really phenomenal. And the whole little town is out, from babies to really old people. They're just out eating, drinking, socializing, watching the fireworks. And it's a really bands playing. There's a really strong sense of community.
Getting annoying.
Community and family spirit that we don't experience here in Australia. But that was really a strong feeling that we felt at that festa, how connected the whole community was. It's all run by volunteers, and all the money for the fireworks is all collected and donated, and they do collections for it, don't they?
Well, they do fundraising.
Fundraising, that's the word I'm looking for, yeah. And there's actual committees dedicated to sourcing the best fireworks and just running the best event. And the day after that particular festa, they would have started planning for next year's festa. And as our fireworks were going off on our side of the bay, I looked out and I could see on the other side of the bay another little village that was having their own festa and having their own fireworks. So it wasn't something that was just unique to that town. There are lots of towns that celebrate at the same time, so that people have that sense of community, of belonging, that I feel is lost in so many other places. I know we don't have that strong sense of community in Australia that they have there. And our cousin was saying that unfortunately it looks like it's going to be lost for the next generation, because his children are happy to go to the festa, but they really couldn't be bothered being involved in fundraising and organising it for next year. So unless things change, I would say that the next 40, 50 years, those kind of festas
might disappear.
Might disappear, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just something that's just so strong. And I feel like these festas are also very prevalent in towns, in small towns in Italy. We didn't get a chance to see it this time. We weren't in Italy long enough to do that. But it's something I'd like to experience next time, perhaps. So that was something that I really wanted to talk about that was interesting. I think we mentioned everything that was here.
Louis.
Oh, my goodness. Louis, you are a brat. Because we're all facing that way, so he thinks, what am I seeing? What am I missing out on?
And if he gets up here, he gets someone patting him. So
yes.
That's what he needs to do to get attention.
Come on, Danny, get. Okay. All right. Now, you were going to intersperse your jokes through the video, but you left it.
Well, because you keep talking. So.
Keep talking. For that viewer that tells me off for interrupting, see, now you're giving them fuel for commenting like that.
So, actually, one of mine relates to pastizzi.
Yes.
And so, let me tell you a little story about the pastizzi. So, there was an Australian guy who went on holidays to visit a friend of his that he grew up with in Australia that had moved back to Malta, and he wanted to catch up with him when he was there. And he got taken to this guy's house and brought in, and they were only going to do a quick visit to say hello. And the dad, Mario, said, no, you can't just come here for 10 minutes. Sit down. I make you some kidney. He didn't even know what kidney was. Sounded like some sort of cartoon character. And I'm going to make you some pastizzi. So he sat down and they served him these delicious pastizzi, and he took one bite of it and thought, wow, these are amazing. He'd never tried them before. And so he turns around to his friend and he said, so where do you get these from? And Mario, the Maltese guy, said, in Malta, you get pastizzi anywhere. Every street corner, they sell them. And the Australian said, oh, sorry, not what I meant, but like, where do they come from? Where do they originate from? Mario again says, what do you think? They're Maltese. They come from Malta. And he says, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm not explaining myself properly, but whereabouts in Malta do they originate from? I'm really interested in the history of like different things like this. And then Mario, with a little twinkle in his eye, realized, okay, I'm going to get this bugger. He says, okay, if you go to Gozo, you can catch the ferry across there. Once you get off the boat, you look out for a little sign. It's not very easy to see because it's a small little sign, but you'll see a sign for a town 1 mile away from the ferry for a town called Tizzi. The guy goes, okay. And what do? He says, look, 1 mile is not very far. You can walk if you like, or you can even catch a little taxi. They'll take you there across there. Okay. And what do I do when I get there? Not get there. You have to go past Tizzi, and once you go past Tizzi, you are there. Past Tizzi. That's where they come from.
He loves that joke. You made it up, didn't you? He made that one up. So.
But then I also taught today, you see, Maltese, we don't say thing, it's ting, right? So I will use my things. I was thinking today about what else, because she wanted some jokes from me. And then I hear about this Delta Goodrem. You know, she got married in Malta. So how can I maybe talk a story about Delta Goodrem? So anyway, I do a bit of research on Google, and I didn't realize this. I don't know if you knew. But Delta's father, he had another business on the side. He used to make the rim for the car. I didn't know. And also the husband that now Delta has married, his father make the tires for the car as well. So it actually seems like a pretty good marriage. Maybe that's how they met. I don't know. But anyway, I think the family business, something Goodyear like that. So And it's pretty good now because they got Delta Goodrem with the good rims and the good tires. So anyway, I think it's all going to be good. They'll have a good year. Welcome to my sense of humour, with a Maltese accent as well.
And with that, we bid you goodbye. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.